Hello buddy, welcome to Boxing Science. In this video, we're going to be sharing a very useful and effective tool to optimize speed and power during loaded jumps. This method actually helped this participant unlock his counter movement jump height and improved it by 10% in just 3 weeks. So when doing loaded jump training, it's very important to get the loading right, and we perform a loaded jump profile to optimize impulse and momentum. Impulse and momentum is so vital for producing high amounts of force during a punch. There's research that suggests 90% of punching force is based on impulse. So it's really important in our exercises, in our ballistic exercises, that we look to optimize the impulse and momentum relationship. How we do this is momentum-based loading. So we calculate this through peak velocity and mass. Mass is body mass and the additional load. And what we find is that we've got like an inverted U. When we're at body weight and we perform jumping action, we're actually underloading the momentum and the amount of impulse that's produced. We get to an optimal level, and then as we're overloaded, we're not able to produce as much force and as much speed, and this will affect the amount of momentum that's created. So it's really important in our loaded jump profile is to find that optimal point. Now let's have a think about the loaded jumps that you're performing at the moment. If you're doing it on a trap bar, doing it on dumbbells, how heavy are you going? You might be going 10 kilos, 15 kilos in each hand. We find this is actually finding our athletes to go a lot heavier. So on the trap bar, for example, something between 50 and 60 kilos that you're jumping with. Whereas like before, we're probably underloading our athletes, we're probably around here. So this is really important. What's really important to consider is that it's individual based. So this is why I performed the loaded jump profile. This is why we shared it on our recent workshop, Ultimate Strength, Speed and Power for Combat Sports workshop. And in this video now, we're going to be sharing practical demonstrations that we did with Alan. Now, Alan implemented this and has improved his jump height by 10% in just 3 weeks. We're going to write down the additional load. Start is going to be 0 because it's just going to do a jump, okay? And then what we're going to do, we're going to go through certain weights. So we're going to start off with 40 kilos. And see how Alan responds with that, okay? Use the output sports device that Tommy's just linking up to Alan's foot here, which is a little bit like the GymAware earlier. And that's gonna give feedback on jump height. Once we get this jump height, this is vital information because we've got what the peak velocity should be with that jump height. If he goes at 40 centimeters, the peak velocity that he'll hit is 2.8 meters per second. It's write down what his impulse is, so times in the total load times the peak velocity, and then we'll get a momentum value. Counter movement jump, so hands on hips, yeah? Okay, so hands on hips, Alan, feet hip width apart. Oh.
So 40.4, so that's a good start.
Dip and drive, let's go. Yes.
41.8.
Dip and drive, let's go. Yes.
41.3, that'll do me.
That first line there, 0 additional load. Total load will be 75 kilos. Jump height is 41.8. So look at his peak velocity on the other side, round it up to 42, will be 2.87 meters per second. So with this, it's going to be like the counter movement jump, okay? Shoulder blades pin back, dip down, and then drive up. Full extension at the top. Good. Your core's got to be tense. Got to sit back onto the heels. And then driving up. What's important is that when you get to that bottom position, your shoulders aren't rounding. Keep them shoulders pinned back. Keep your chest up, mate.
26.6.
26.6. Good.
23.1. 25.3. So 26.6 is our
26.6, yeah. So let's write that down. So 40 kilos plus 75, 115 kilos. Jump height, 26.6. So round that up to 27. So what's that in terms of his velocity? 2.3. So here now is predicted for him to hit 23 centimeters. So let's see whether he got it, Alan. Good.
22.3.
Yeah, take a deep breath in. Suck it up, drive it up. Let's go, yes.
23.3. Nice.
Good. Yeah, good.
20.2.
Good. Yeah, what's really important there is that deep breath in. If you don't create that postural stability there, shoulders will drop down and you'll lose that kind of spring out the bottom. That's really good. His target score, 23.3. What's his peak velocity should be on that cheat sheet? 23 centimeters, 2.12. So then you write that down. So 75 kilos, plus 50 kilos is 125 kilos of total load. You hit a jump height of 23 centimeters, and then that peak velocity 2.13. So just have to write that down. 19 centimeters, Alan. So this is going towards about 50% of your jump height. Dip and drive. Let's go. Yes.
22. 21.2.
Yeah, good work.
19.2. You got 22 there.
You take it in slow motion. Go on to vertical jump, counter movement jump, and then you go into your files.
You can try it. Okay, cool.
So you look at where his takeoff height is. So you press takeoff, and then it timestamps it. So then you go through. It's important that I do it in slow-mo because it recognises that frame rate. And landing. Say there. Landing. The load is 6 kilos. Next. 20.45. You'll get a difference in every piece of equipment that you use, whether it's my jump, whether it's output, whether it's the Opta jump. If they all jumped at the same time, you'd get a bit of difference. Reliability of that, it stays a trend. So when we've looked at jump data with that output, with Opta jump, they still have a very, very strong R-squared value. When you're testing and retesting an athlete, making sure that they're on that same piece of kit, it is reliable. So that's how you'd use a my jump. Yes.
19.6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good work. Deep breath in.
19.2.
Good work, man.
19.6.
Very solid technique there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very good. You good with one more?
Yeah.
Let's go for 5 more kilos each side, yeah? So he's hit 20 centimeters there. He's smashing his numbers. Added load of 70. So it's on 145 kilos now, total load. And his jump height was 20 centimeters. Peak velocity, 1.98. Underloaded, 247. Gone up to 277 here. And now we're going down the other side in terms of his momentum profile. So let's see what he hits on this next one. See how that determines the rest of it. Really vital that he keep that posture all the way through this now. Deep breath.
17.5.
Deep breath in.
15.7.
Yeah, good work.
15.9. So 17.5.
They were fantastic demonstrations. Fantastic. Potentially, like if you look at like kind of his speeds at the lower loads, probably that's something that he needs to work on. But as he gets up to higher loads, he's being able to maintain that a lot better than the Boxing Science average. Now, when you look at like his momentum here, you can see that there's a peak momentum, but it's quite wide, big area for him to work in here. So you'd probably expect that to be a little bit shorter. So that means that it probably could work on speed a little bit more. But if he's looking to try and increase impulse, optimize his load here is showing additional load at peak impulse is 65 kilos. Now, sometimes an athlete aren't able to even hit that because they're losing that posture. With Alan today, he's hitting 65 kilos quite comfortably. That shows you the importance of doing this load velocity profile, because we could have easily gone, add 20 kilos on the bar and try and jump as high as you can. If we did that and the additional load going right really underneath what is optimal for Alan there. And again, it's individualized as well. R-squared value, very, very valid. So it's R-squared value 0.97. So that's showing very, very strong correlation there. When we've got 6 data points there, we probably could drop one. If we drop that 50 kilos there, you'd get a much stronger profile. So that's the end of the video. Hopefully you found it really useful. As you can see with Alan there, got that optimal zone. He's been working on that for 3 weeks. Has improved his jump height by 10%. Think about the adaptations that you can make to your training to make sure that you're optimizing your loaded jumps and unlock your potential. If you're interested in attending one of our workshops, please visit the link in description to check out our next available dates. So hopefully see you down at the Boxing Science Performance Centre very soon.